Hi, Erin. Hi, everyone. Just going to give about a minute for everyone to join tonight. How are you guys doing? Guys, if you don't know this, and I'm mostly doing this for recording for anybody watching on YouTube, my lives are Mondays, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hi, guys. Good to see you. Let's give everybody until about 7:01, 7:02 to join. Fantastic. Ooh, I like that. From very good all the way up. Fantastic, excellent. These are just really good answers to give to anybody who's asking you how you are. Thanks for joining. I wanna hear more stories from you guys. This week, for some reason, I didn't get too many stories, but they usually come on Friday. I don't know. Fridays, people like to talk about how their week went. Hi, Lisa. Where is everybody? I think everybody's like waiting to listen to my lives on YouTube. I always get like 500 views on this live, so I'm wondering like, oh my god, maybe I should just record myself at whatever time is appropriate for me, and then just post them on YouTube. But that wouldn't be the same, without the interaction. I enjoy the interaction that I have with you guys on the live. Hi, thanks for joining. Okay, let's get right in it. So we're not enough people for me to start the content. Is there anything you guys want to talk about in terms of your journey, manifestation, anything you want me to touch upon before I get into the material? Yeah, but you're in a different time zone, so you have an excuse for watching my live on YouTube. Full moon energy next 3 days is potent, great for releasing. If full moon energy it's good for you, that's great. For me, it knocks me out. Like, it's many times I have to even close the blinds because I just feel it. It's just so powerful, and it knocks me off balance. So that's why I don't even work with a new moon. It's dense. Yeah, it's really, really dense. So I'm not sure how much of the full moon is giving to us and how much it's taking from us, because many times I feel like the full moon is taking from me. That's why even I don't work with any of that stuff. The new moon ritual that I shared with you guys is something that's been transmitting to me from family members, from my grandmother. It was actually my grandmother's sister. And so I kept practicing it all my life, and it's been great. But other than that, I just, yeah, it's not for manifesting. Yeah, the full moon is not for manifesting. Is it for releasing though, or is it pulling something else from us? I can never understand. Let's see. Steph says, I have been manifesting more clients, and I'm going to have to raise the prices again. I love that. I love that so much. Usually the first thing that happens in manifestation, the first thing that manifests is the area of your life where you have the least amount of resistance. The body was the easiest for me in general in my life, just because I never had resistance. So the body, let me just decline this, guys. Please don't call me. I don't take calls during my lives. But for other people, it's, job, career, money, whatever it is. You manifested 250 today? Nice. I love that. You got the $2,000 last Friday. Yay. Yay. If you're not one of, I got 3 stories about the $2,000 so far. If you're not one of the stories that has emailed it to me, please email it to me, because this is very, very inspiring for everybody. So if you haven't emailed it to me already, because I can't tell by the username who you are, please do so. Okay, guys, please don't call me. Let's see. New moon is for setting what we want. Yes, full moon is to release. Yeah, I only work with the new moon, as you guys know. So that's great. During the full moon, I kind of have to hide, so I don't turn into a werewolf, or who knows what else. I will. Oh, okay. I love the stories. Not only are they inspiring for everybody about the $2,000 or things we manifest, it's because of the unusual way in which they come to pass. And the stories that I got so far, it's nothing that somebody could have said, oh, this thing will go to this thing, and then we'll go to this thing, and then you'll get a credit of $2,000 on your credit card. Like, nobody can put these things together. That's how you know it's our manifestation, you know? That's how you know it's for real. Let's get a little bit into the material. So this, we're doing, most of the people in my lives are doing the 60-day challenge. We also have the Facebook space for whoever wants to join. And that's where we share our success stories. It's not for any emotional dumping. It's just for sharing success. And, you know, I do give tips and tricks, and we have some other practices as well on that. If you get a message from me, it's not from me. I have some scammers, so I have to say that on every live. I never contact anyone ever for any reason. Unless you contacted me and I reply, I never contact anyone. So if you get a message from an account that looks like mine, it's a fake account, and you can report it if you can. Thank you. What is this? Am I looking for a husband? No. You're a beautiful wolf. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Okay. Now let's get, what I do during these lives is I take whatever comes up during the week. And if I feel like my response, you know, to somebody's email or to somebody's comment would benefit the group in terms of advancing their practice, that's what I discuss during these lives. We have a dream pin in our Facebook group, and a lot of the queens are putting dreams there. Dreams are a very important part of understanding the subconscious. They always mean something, unless your body's physically going through something. If your body's physically going through something, like if you had a heavy meal or you are sick or ill, then your dream might not mean anything except your body processing that. But otherwise, you know, take it as it means something. And there's all sorts of interesting dreams that we're talking about. And many times I just provide some dream interpretation because it's always been an interest of mine. So we have had some dreams of loss recently, okay? So it's loss of pets. Somebody put, I dreamt that my dogs fell down the stairs and died. You know, somebody said about their child. It's just really awful to kind of have these dreams, okay? That I want you guys to understand that humans are the only organism on this planet that are aware of death, that they're aware they are going to die, okay? And this fear of death is always with us. Even if you don't think of it, that way, unless you're a trained master who is waiting and can't wait to go to the other side and knows that's, you know, that's what the point of religion was back in the day, I guess. Unless you train your mind like this fear of death will express itself in different areas of your life, especially in dreams. And it will express itself via some sort of irreparable loss. So do not take these dreams to mean like when you dream of somebody passing or losing, some heartbreak about losing your pet, you know, your husband in the dream, children, knock on wood, you know, they don't, your subconscious is in this constant, there's this background fear of irreparable loss, right? It's not the same as fear of losing money because you can always make more money. But you know, the fear of death is, and I don't talk about death in general. It's kind of a taboo of mine. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want you guys focused there, but you have to be aware that it's there, right? It's there. And when you dream about it, what I want you to do, or when you dream about a loss like this, what I want you to do is, and it's just when you wake up, just say to your mind, you know, yes, I acknowledge that one day, you know, I'm going to deal with loss and I'm going to deal with it. But between now and then, I am focusing on something else. So I want you, please, you know, you're talking to your subconscious. I want you, please, to keep your focus where I am directing your focus, right? So it's redirecting your mind on purpose and deciding not to fall prey to stay in that vibration of loss. Okay, it's very, very important. You're not, especially if you're manifesting, because if you stay in that vibration as you wake up during the day, you're creating from that vibration. So I want you guys to be very, very aware. Put those dreams aside and attribute it the meaning of subconscious is always going to have this fear of loss. Yeah, good advice. Thanks, Lisa. Yeah, you have to consciously give your subconscious instructions, right? That's what it comes to. Consciously and very often. That's the thing with the dream. Somebody else dreamt that they were in a house with me and aliens were attacking, and then there's an ocean that came, and she was very afraid. And I said, well, this is normal. A house is representative of you, right? House is representative of the person itself. Aliens attacking is all these new ideas we're implanting in the subconscious. Your subconscious is like, what's this? You're adored. You're not adored. That's an alien thought. And of course, ocean and any dreams of water is a cleansing dream. And she's afraid in her dream. Of course you're afraid, because part of this work is changing your identity. So the old identity has to pass away, has to fall away, right? So the old identity doesn't want to do that. There's an energetic thought form attached to our old ego. And that thought form doesn't just want to be deleted, right? It's being kept in place with its energetic scaffolding and all of that, including the energy that's around us. It's all fighting for survival. Nothing wants to be deleted. Okay, ultimately you have free choice, but it's not necessarily that this energy will just say, yeah, I'll just move out of here. I guess I'm not wanting it anymore. No, it's going to fight for its survival, right? Listening to feeling is the secret. Yeah, helps me dream better every time. I love Neville. A lot of people love Neville. I listened to him for maybe like even a couple of years. I don't listen to him anymore. I'm into other stuff now. But he has, some great advice for if you want to try it. And it's very simple. Like, this work is very simple. His work specifically is very simple, but it's not easy. I always say that. It's simple, but it's not easy. Yes, Lisa, you keep falling back into victimhood. But you're not the only one. I gotta say, anybody who had a difficult, I don't want to, I just want to be careful with my words here. If one of your parents was very strong in their identity, in doing things a certain way, and you were kind of like very different from that energy, your energy together with them is dissonant, right? Because they're going like this and you might be going like this. And when those waves of energies come into contact with one another, it's going to be dissonant, right? And it's when two energies are dissonant, it's not necessarily with a parent. It can be with a spouse, unfortunately, if you didn't know how to select right. But it's usually with a parent because we don't choose our parents. When those energies are dissonant, it's always one of the energies that suffers more than the other, right? Because what happens is one of the energy dumps on the other. And there's always like an energy that projects and an energy that absorbs. So if you're the energy that absorbs, what's going to happen with, let's say, your mother or your father, they're going to have their outburst, okay? And you are going to internalize that. But immediately after their release, they're going to feel better. And the next day, they might not think it was a big deal, right? They're processing it very differently. But you being the internalizing energy, you might think of this for weeks, for days, thinking what they mean when they said that, right? So now you're analyzing, you're internalizing, and you're processing their energy. So I want you to know it's not all in your mind, right? Like, it's also in your energetic field. There's been a dump. There's been a dump on you, right? When you listen to this crap that another adult subjects you to. This is why I always say, you're never obligated to have a relationship with another adult. Listen to that again. You're never obligated to have a relationship with another adult. Okay? You should always sit down with yourself and analyze how this makes you feel and what impact it has on your life. I mean, if they're just saying their piece and it has no effect on you and you're like, it's just an old lady talking, I'll let her talk. That's different. But if you constantly internalize, like, it's your antagonist, right? Is your parent your antagonist? This is what you have to ask yourself. And if the answer is yes, is why do you allow it? How do you remove the energy they dumped on you? First of all, you will minimize the time that you are around this person. And second of all, you will sit with yourself before you meet with them, before you know you're going to have a call with them, and bring yourself into a point of awareness and say, my energy is fixed. This person will not be able to disturb my energetic field, right? And then, you know, in the social interaction you have with them, you have to distance yourself from the person that's internalizing the concepts that they're throwing at you, right? So all of a sudden you step outside yourself and you're just an observer of that, right? You're like, oh, she's doing this thing again where she's putting me down, right? This is in your mind. I'm observing this. I wonder why this always bothered me. I wonder, maybe I had a good reason, but I'm choosing not to let, but guys, this is a lot of work. Like, I'm not prepared to do this work just to be around somebody negative. If there's somebody who makes me feel that way, it's goodbye. Okay? Because I'm not prepared to sit through that and be like, now I got to detach myself. Like, I have better use of my energy. You can be aware and you can sort of fight back and put your shield on and protect yourself. But why would you go through all this? Why would you put yourself in situations? It's also like, in a sense, it's devaluing yourself. You're devaluing yourself, right? You're saying, I know this person is going to do something bad to my energetic field. Whether they mean to or not, it's irrelevant, right? They're just dissonant. They're dissonant with your energy field. This happens with friends too, right? Or it happens with friends that you grow apart from. All of a sudden, everything they say doesn't vibrate with you anymore. And it's actually like a pain listening to them. Have you guys had that happen to you? I had that happen to me, right? And you're like, oh, but they've been my friend for like 10 years. Or none of this matters. None of this matters, because where you're at right now is different than where you were at 10 years ago. And at that time, you may not have been dissonant. But two people don't have the same growth rate, right? And this is, you know, incredibly difficult if you're married to this person, of course. And, you know, it's really unfortunate. I feel for people who are in that situation. I don't give advice on what to do if you're already married, other than, you know, detaching and, you know, sort of refocusing on yourself. But, you know, being socially involved with somebody like that is, you know, if you are married, you want to stay married, you have to stay married. What happens is you have to just make peace with the fact that your rate of growth will sort of be stumped, right? Like it will be, this is the best I can do is keep myself into a balanced state, right? The toxic people keep coming back. Of course they do. They're energy vampires, right? Because the way they calm their energy, a lot of people calm and rebalance their own energy by dumping on you. Yeah, I want you to understand that this is what actually happens. By dumping on you, they're actually gaining energy. They're gaining, and it's not necessarily that they're doing on purpose, that, oh, I'm going to go see Jennifer and now go dump my energy on them. They don't even know that. They just know that dumping on you makes them feel better. And I'm explaining to you why it makes them feel better. Because all that excess potential energy, pent-up energy that they collect from who knows where, it's just sitting in their space. And they need to push it out, right? So when they push it out, they have this release, just like when we have physical releases, right? It feels good. It feels really good. And they're like balanced. And you're like all of a sudden dissonant. You're like going like rattled, dissonant. It's terrible, right? And you're thinking about it. And the easiest thing is just to cut them out of your life, or minimize your access to them, or their access to you rather. So I want you guys to understand that this work that we're doing, a lot of it has to do with practical life tips. It's not just you're going to sit there and you're going to affirm and everything's going to work out. Otherwise, you know, everybody would have fixed their lives already, right? Because this kind of content has been circulating on these platforms for a few years now, right? So, you know, if all we had to do was just affirm nonstop and things would change, it would all be pretty much very happy multimillionaires by now, right? And very loved, of course, with the ideal partner, with our SP, right? But the reason why that doesn't happen is there's layers and layers and layers and layers, and you can never build an old foundation. I would say most people fail at manifesting reality creation, creating reality their own way, because of they never actually uncover their limiting beliefs, right? they never actually know what those beliefs are, and they can never eliminate them. And so everything that is trying to get in, all the new affirmations, all the new, it's just like their paradigm is like bouncing them right back out. It's like, no, you're not a dork. No, you're not rich. No, you're not. No, money doesn't grow on trees. You're not going to get any money. Like, what are you talking about? Your value's not that high. Stop this. You're too old. You're too heavy. You're too skinny. It's just that's what happens. It's like your identity is very, very strong. In fact, your identity would have to be more fluid for this stuff to sort of happen. People with fluid identity, it's easier for them. If you're very grounded in your identity, well, the more grounded you are, the harder it is to effectuate change, obviously. Okay, so I want to take up a few emails and questions that I had. So somebody wrote me an email saying, she's unmarried, she'd like to be married, she'd like to be a mother, she's a bit later in life. And one of her siblings, got pregnant again, and she's very happy in her marriage. And she's saying, I'm happy for my sibling, but I can't help but feel some jealousy and resentment that it's not me, right? And she's saying specifically, I feel I am not the heroine in my life, right? I'm not married yet. I do not have a family of my own, and that would take care of me and that I care about. And I want to change this story, right? And she's saying, even though I love my sibling, I feel like I'm living in someone else's life. Like, I feel like I'm the extra in a movie, right? So I told her, look, we really need to understand when you're in a situation that you don't want to be in, we really need to understand why. And understanding why is not like me looking at your life and telling you why you're single, right? It's really understanding why you think that is, right? That's the only thing that's important. So I said, we need to understand why. Be extra honest with yourself. Why are you not the heroine of your life? And why do you not have a family? Okay? And the important thing is, the answer to this will be your limiting belief, right? If you want your sister's life, why do you not have it? Why? Write it out. When you write out why your sister has it and you don't, those, if you can fill up a page, it's a problem, but it's good, because all that stuff needs to come out. It needs to come. You need to understand why you don't have the life that you have. Okay. Especially it's not like asking, why am I not, a multi-billionaire? Okay. This is like, I'm talking easy stuff. I'm talking stuff that everybody used to have, like, back in, even my mother's generation, right? All women would be married, would have children. Why is it that right now you're not? And maybe it's like, well, society has convinced me I don't need to. And I, realized later that that's a huge missing piece in my life. Maybe it's just as simple as that, right? Maybe you're thinking, oh, my sister is way more beautiful than me, so obviously she deserves more love. Or you need to write out why. Okay? Let's see. What if we don't know why? You know why. This is, you're just afraid to write it out, okay? Because unless you can say, I am the best option for every man who's ever dated me, and I guess they're just nuts, for not having picked me. I bet very few women could sit down and be like, I was the best option for John and, Fred, and like all of these guys, like, are they on drugs? Like, are they like, because I am the best looking person. Clearly I have wife qualities. Clearly I'm just like, what do you, unless you can do that, then there is a why. And you have to be honest with yourself, okay? As to the why. I will simply blame myself. Yeah, but that blame yourself is important. It's important to understand in which areas you blame yourself. And when you write this out, by the way, it's just for you, right? You're not going to show it to anyone. It's just for you to sort of see like, oh, this is what I think about myself. I'll blame myself. It's because I don't communicate. It's because I extra communicate. It's because I annoy men. It's because I'm heavy, is because I don't earn enough money. It's whatever it is you think about yourself. That's the why. And you need to understand that why. Erin, you've been very, very active on your dating life since you started this challenge, haven't you? And you were saying how you never got any matches before, and now all of these chicks want you. Like, that's amazing. I love that for you. I just like, now you need to be careful with the picking, okay? Because now you have to pace yourself and be like, is this the best option for me? Because I know I'm the best option for them. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. There was another queen who wrote to me that she works with very negative people, and she's in a situation where the people she works with are extra needs, extra challenges, right? So those people will always be sort of in a negative state. There's nothing she can do about that. But she's saying something very important I want to bring up. She's saying the amount of energy it takes her just to stay caring, kind, understanding to those people, just to keep her vibe up around those people and be kind is insurmountable. And that at the end of the day, she feels drained just from the interaction. She's saying she's not even like, her job is not even that busy. It's just their constant energy. And she, like, if you need to play a character in your life or swim against the current nonstop 8-10 hours a day while you're at work, that's gonna affect you a lot. It's just hoping to grow from, being around people that drain you 10 hours a day. It's close to impossible, right? You need to take a step back. This is why a lot of people, they only grow when they leave their current careers behind, because we're not really even clear on how much a work situation can take from us. And, there are a lot of work situations that give to us, right? If you're surrounded by great people, and there's people who can't wait to get to work, and their office space is like that space where they have their 5 friends and they go for lunch. And, of course they have to do some hours. Sometimes you're tired. It's normal to be tired or exhausted after a day of work, but it's not normal to feel like your energy is drained. That's a different feeling that I'm talking about, right? It's a different feeling when it's the people. The people can emanate and project on you negatively. You can absorb that. And, it's very damaging to your own system. And then you could be spending the whole weekend just recovering, just clearing, just recovering. And I told you guys, at the end of every day, the same way you take a shower and use soap and water to wash your body, you have to cleanse your energetic field pretty much every night. Now, this is a 60-second practice. Like, don't think it's, it's going to take you 2 hours to meditate on it. It's just sort of feeling it, assessing, where do you feel this? Where do you feel? I feel most people feel in their chest, their chest or in the pit of their stomach, right? It's where they're affected. And be like, what interaction did I have today? Who do I have to let go? Is my boss occupying space in my mind rent-free right now when I'm supposed to be here with my family? I let it go. I forgive him, and I'm looking for a better job, and I know I'm going to have a better situation. Between now and then, I just want to think my boss is also stressed out. He's, a man with 2 kids. He probably has it bad at home, and I release it, right? I release him from my energy system, and I choose not to let him occupy space, right? Or if somebody was rude to you, somebody was rude to you in the subway, somebody said something to you, looked at you the wrong way, all of that gets stored in your space, unfortunately. It all gets stored. And if you don't take the time to be like, right, people used to do this with prayer, right? Before they used to do like, Lord, please, I forgive those who trespassed against me, and all that. And, this is like, it's an energy cleansing ritual, right? It's an energy, like, to say when people, unfortunately, not a lot of people pray anymore, but to say, forgive me my trespasses as I forgive those who trespass against me, right? It's just like you're saying, I forgive them, I let go of them, right? So all of these practices have kind of been left with us, but they never explained to us the importance of why we're doing these things. And so we stepped away from doing those things because we were like, what's the point of doing that or doing that? And we just got more and more engrossed into 3D. But because we're energetic systems walking around in physical bodies, whether you step away from these practices, it doesn't change the fact that, your energy system still needs to be dealt with, right? And still needs to be cleansed. So we just don't do it anymore. And because of that, it piles up on us more and more. Why do you think there's so many people who are depressed so much more in this generation? By the way, this generation is the best generation to be a woman in. The best generation to, have running water, electricity, clean everything sterile. Like, are you kidding me? Like, think about, 1885, 1920, 1940. Like, it was not a good time to be a woman. So why is it that we're so depressed, so heavy now, when life got, in a sense, much easier in terms of the practicalities of life, right? You don't even have to cook. Imagine the idea of in 1920, a woman not cooking every day. Like, this idea didn't exist. So the reason we're heavy is because our energy is heavy. And because we circulate through the world not paying attention to what gets in our energy system, and everything that gets in affects our physical body, and it eventually manifests in an illness if it's held in the energetic scaffolding long enough. All right, where were we? Okay, so this queen left me a message on one of my YouTube videos, but I don't remember which one. She's saying, because I was saying, why is it that you guys don't do this work with me? Why don't you take the 60-day challenge? Why don't you, do it every day, or, be very serious about it? And she's saying, I think sometimes it's hard to sit down and commit to the work, or even get on the dating apps. It was something about dating. Because to most of us, this might be a last-ditch effort to change things around. And if by chance it doesn't happen, I feel like the emotional repercussions might be very heavy. I think it's the fear of failure, because most people here are from the law of assumption, which I'm guessing has failed them in some way or another. And I want to know, I never thought of it that way. And I want to know if, people might, like, I never thought, because to me, discovering somebody I resonate with, and then going through all their material, right? Like, whoever it is, if it's, Joe Dispenza, if it's Neville Goddard, if it's, listening to my lives or doing the work with me. Like, to me, I was always very excited to discover these new things that I could do to always improve my life. And I'm talking about since I'm aware of this thing, since I'm, I really just never felt like, oh, I'm going to give this one more go with this person. And if it fails, I'm the emotional, like, I'm always thinking if it fails, then, that particular method was not for me. And I want you guys to change. Unfortunately, the law of assumption is taught the wrong way. And if you've tried it before, I almost want everybody who's doing this work with me to have tried all of those methods before, including the whisper method and, all of this, pretty hilarious methods that in my mind, they're ridiculous. And I want you, because everybody tells you the law of assumption is very, very easy. And, I've always taught from the beginning, since I got on this platform in April, I always told everybody it's not easy. And assuming this work is not going to be easy, that it's a simple concept, that if it's drilled in your mind enough, you will understand it. But the work that you have to do with yourself is not easy. So if you understand this, right, that starting this work will land you in a better place, it might not be the place where you want to be, okay? So it might not be that this round on dating apps will land you with a husband. Okay, not necessarily, right? But in this round, if you commit to say, I will be dating between September and December, okay? But I will be doing it the way Mona teaches. You will see that in that, and not approach it with sort of like, I must get this or I'm a failure. Just be like, this thing will help me change the identity and shift closer and closer to the person that I want to become, right? So, like, your interaction with other people should change. You need to assess how other people respond to you. If they respond the same way, then you haven't effectuated a big enough shift. And you need to go back to the drawing board and do it again. So again, is that observer role. Do not see it as a like, I'm either going to succeed or I'm going to fail. No, if you do this process correctly, with each step, you're going to get closer and closer to who you want to be. Now, can you have a massive awakening and a massive jump and completely change to the point where, yeah, all of a sudden you're like, my God, all these people walked all over me, but all of a sudden, like, I'm the prince. How did I not see that? I am the princess. I'm, the main character of my life. And all of a sudden, everyone will reflect that. Yes, that happens to people, but it doesn't happen to the majority of people. So I've posted a video today that it's extremely important for everyone to watch, and I posted it on YouTube too. It's about how our self-concept affects our reality, right? And I think I have the drawing here. If you haven't seen it, please watch it because I give a practical exercise too, right? So I drew this photo, right? And what most people do is their attention is placed on the observation, observing 3D, okay? And so by observing 3D, they feed their self-concept. And so they observe, oh, we don't have money. And when they grow up, I'm not loved. In my marriage, maybe dad cheated on mom, men are cheaters, whatever it is we observe, right? You feed your self-concept and you create more of that, more of 3D reality. And from this 3D reality that manifests from your defective self-concept, you're gonna observe more of that, you feed it back in your self-concept, and that's how the self-concept is reinforced over and over and over and over again, right? So what I said is, if you want to create your reality, your attention has to be on your self-concept. Okay, so this is reversed. Instead of starting with 1, 2, and 3, you're going to start with the self-concept. So from the self-concept, you're going to create that reality. That reality will be, you'll be observing only what you wanted that was created. Now, when you manifest from the self-concept, your attention is so grounded in your self-concept that you understand that even when 3D doesn't manifest your self-concept, it's just because of the delay. There's a natural delay between the world reflecting your self-concept and you having that self-concept. Now, you can't hold the self-concept for a week or a month that you're adored, that you're loved, and all of a sudden be like, this isn't working. I'm not finding anyone, or I'm rich, I'm successful, but I don't have any sales, or what have you. No. You gotta hold this no matter what, knowing that this picture is the only way your reality is going to work going forward. Okay, this is the only acceptable way. Your attention is here. I am wanted, I am loved, I am successful, I am slim, I am, whatever it is that you want to be. And it's not just I am, right? Like, you can put all sorts of affirmations in here in your self-concept, but they're not blank affirmations. This is where the work is, right? You're gonna uncover your limiting beliefs. You're gonna rewrite those limiting beliefs into the positive. You're gonna add new things to it. It's all in this box. You're only keeping your attention on the self-concept. Whatever comes up that's defective, you're going to replace it. This is the idea, okay? So you're only here. This is not easy work. It's not easy. It might take you a while. It might take you months. It might take you years, okay? But as long as you're staying here, your 3D will reflect it. It will reflect it with a delay. Wow, how long is it going to be, Mona? How long? It depends. You're not that good. You're not that good right now to be like, how long is it going to be? No. You got to, it's going to take you a bit, right? And then the important thing is, when you have one success, this is why I do all my manifestations with the group. When you have one success, you only observe what it is that you want. Oh, I got my $2,000. Oh, I got that job that I applied for. Oh, the CEO of my company, this is one story. The CEO of my company called me after 4 months and said he's promoting me. Yeah, that's what I'm choosing to observe. I'm not choosing to observe that my colleague was rude today. I'm not observing that because I'm here in my self-concept. My self-concept. Oh, my 60-day challenge changed your life. You're beating depression. Thanks for that. I'm so happy to hear that. I'm so happy to hear that. But we're working with group energy here, so that makes a huge difference, right? So I hope you guys understood. I wanted to provide more explanations on the video. There will be a lot of work on the self-concept. Don't let anybody tell you it's easy. Don't do the whisper method. Don't do any of, like, you got to show up for you. Okay? There comes a time in everybody's life where you have to draw a line. Okay? And sort of the line is here. And this is the past you. And this is the future you. Usually people just do it, with continuity. They wake up, 95% of their thoughts are yesterday's thoughts. And they repeat the same day, the same scenarios, the same relationships, the same jobs. And for the people who are really interested in this work and who see small changes in other areas and they're like, I know I can effectuate these bigger changes in my life. You're going to draw a visual line in between the person that you used to be and the person that you are, or that you're going to be in the future. Maybe right now you're just standing on that line and you're going to be like, no more. No more. Okay? No more this person. I'm breaking with her. I'm breaking. Joe Dispenza has a book called the Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, something like this. But you have to make a break from the identity of that person. You draw the line. You're like, it is my right to be born anew. It is my right. Every day, every night when you go to sleep, it's an opportunity to reset. And be like, mind, okay, call it mind. I know you're not my friend. I know you're going to fight me over this next few months when I'm doing this work. You're going to fight me every step of the way. I know that, but I have to let you go. I am the will. You are the mind and it's your job to keep me safe, but I am the will and I will exercise that will to bring forth whatever it is I want. Who is I? I, the awareness, the consciousness that's experiencing life on this planet. Me. That is who I am. And I get to choose what I experience. That's what it is. That is that shift that you make. And from there on out, you make this commitment. I'm going to work on me every day, every single day. So to this queen that's saying there might be emotional repercussions, there shouldn't be, because even if once again you're not getting what you want in that, always put a time frame, okay? Put a time frame on what you're going to try to do, whether it's working on your business. At the end of that time frame, or dating, the end of that time frame, you're going to assess how you did, how you performed, how other people's reaction changed to you. And if it's not exactly what you wanted, you're going to make that list. Where can I do better? Right? It's always a battle with ourselves. And it depends where you're coming from in your identity, right? Because for some people, it's easier because their self-identity is not as negative as other people. So it just depends. There's layers and layers of this. That's what I want to say. You don't want to say that the emotional repercussions will be heavy. They shouldn't be. They have no grounds, negative emotions for coming into your space. This life is all about exploration. Remember, you are consciousness, and consciousness evolves only through love or through pain. And both of those things are acceptable as long as you learn from them, right? When you love, you got to learn to love more. When you have pain, you got to learn how not to have the same pain again. It's not that you won't have pain again in the future, but you shouldn't have the same pain, because you should have learned a lesson from each painful experience that you had. And even if it's the same experience, you can't have it affect you the same way, because you've grown, if you've grown. That's the idea. Always assess yourself. You should be top of mind. You should be top of mind for you. Every day, every hour. Who's top of mind? You. Because when you become the best version of yourself, you bring that best version of yourself to everyone in your life, including your husband, your kids, your mother, your siblings. You bring that version of yourself, the version that's happy. There's no greater gift you can give somebody than you being happy and showing up to light up their lives, and not going there asking them to do that for you because you're depressed. All right, let's see what else I wanted to talk about. Okay, this queen says, I've been working on the 60-day challenge for about a month now. And I know you said things could fall apart, but I'm in a very difficult situation with my housing. I may need to move within the next few months, and this happened very abruptly, and I'm nowhere near prepared. It was very unexpected, and I am happy with where I'm living, so this isn't by my choice. What do you suggest I do to ensure all works out in my favor? And I actually had a friend going through this as well. Like, it's not a money situation. It's, her landlord wants back the condo that she lives in, and it's just such a huge disturbance for her to just have to move, right? But I am going to tell you something when you do this work. And what you got to understand is that you cannot, existing structures will crumble. I can't tell you what is it that is going to crumble, but the idea is you will be tested to see, are you flexible enough to let situations flow in and out of your life as the ground around you starts to shift? Right? Again, if you're so grounded in your existing identity, you won't be able to, and your existing identity will win, and more of your existing situation will manifest. But when you start to do this work, you're telling your existing identity, I want you gone. Okay, I'm inviting the new identity. So, whatever is associated with this old identity will have no choice but slowly fall apart. It's a process of peeling, and a lot of things will fall apart before they're being rebuilt, right? So are you flexible enough to let situations flow in and out of your life, and to sort of have that faith that there is this intelligence in the universe that knows better than you? Because you think the best thing for you is to live in this condo or housing that you're living in. But that might not be, maybe if you stay here, you are not going to meet that person that's meant to be your spouse. Maybe if you stay here, you're not going to achieve that growth of even dealing with the situation that's required of you, right? Dealing with any negative situation is an opportunity for growth. And that is being demanded of you as you're claiming a new identity. Can you really handle that, right? Somebody else told me, they said, I finally figured out why I'm not manifesting. I really don't know what I want. And I was like, yeah, that will do it. Really, to manifest, I think I did a video on this a couple of months ago. To manifest what you want, you have to know what you want. Otherwise, what manifests is the randomness of your mind. Yeah? Oh, you like my lipstick, Carla? It's, I think it's, yeah, I can't tell. No, and the one I'm thinking of, I just know right now it's not. I'm going to get back to you on that. It's in my bedroom. I'll put it on the Facebook group. Thank you so much for the compliment. All right. There's one more here that I want to take up. And, you might find yourself in these words because it's a limiting belief from childhood, and it's how this limiting belief can play out. It's sort of a moment of realization. So this queen says, last week I was meditating and a memory from my childhood popped up in my mind. I remember when I was 8 or 9 years old, I went to a birthday party. They made me some raffles. They made some raffles and I won a coloring set that I really liked. I was super lucky when I was little. I always won something in every raffle. When we were about to depart, my mom asked me to give it to another younger child that didn't win anything. She said that the person who held the party was going to buy me something similar later. I did what my mom said, but my prize never came. But these requests kept on coming all my life, to give something to my little sister or brother, to prioritize someone else's happiness or tranquility over mine, to be ashamed to ask for something for myself. And that is one of my main limiting beliefs. I have always thought that I can't make good decisions for myself, but looking back, what I learned from those experiences was that I have to sacrifice myself for others. So I have always put other people's happiness above mine. I studied what my mom wanted because she said that what I really wanted would never give me enough money to live well. I sacrificed finishing university and some jobs I had because my now husband needed all my time to do what he needed. She keeps going on. He has cheated on me many times, of course, but I have stayed because he said he would do something bad to himself if I leave. And then, the story keeps getting worse and worse. While doing that, he depleted me of my self-confidence, self-love, self-respect. And all this time I have let him. Now, why has she let him? Right? She let him because when she was 8 or 9 years old, and throughout her whole childhood, she was told to prioritize others. If you are parents and you have small children, even if you have older children, please do not, in this world specifically, they need to be their top, their well-being. Their first duty is to their own well-being, right? So if you're being told all your life how life should be sacrificed, how life should be putting other people first, how life is accepting the flaws of others, irrespective of your well-being, right? You could wake up, 20, 30 years later, and sort of look back and be like, I know when this started. I finally know when this started. And I realized that's exactly how this played out for me, right? And then she's saying the limiting belief is that I'm not worthy or deserving and I'm not important. A lot of people have this belief. I'm not important enough for my life to matter in the world. It pops up in my mind when I'm meditating, when I'm writing what I want for life. I manifested all the little challenges you give us, but when something happens to me, I feel ashamed if something good happens to me. Imagine that. And with this limiting belief comes fear of never accomplishing anything. So I told her, sort of like high level, there needs to be a massive energetic cleanse here first before she can, affirm or do anything, or, it's sort of resetting this whole idea that you have to put other people first. Now, because she's already in this life where has her life set up like this, like her husband's there, her kids are there, her parents probably still alive, and with the same idea, this is not going to be easy, right? Because for every small change she's going to make, she's going to be hit over the head, so to speak, by the other people. Be like, what's this? What do you mean you're doing something for you? What do you mean, So, Queen, if you're listening to this, you got to expect that the resistance from your life, from doing these things, will be immense. Will the people in your life will start telling you what happened to you, you've changed, you're not, you're not yourself, what's wrong with you, what do you mean you're taking off and going to the mall and getting a massage or whatever it is that you want to do for yourself. Please start with the small practical things that you can do for yourself to make yourself feel good now, right? So maybe when you're in this situation, it's not the best idea to be like, oh, I'm working on a new business, a new career, no, just just tell your family the next hour is going to be for myself to meditate and read my book. Don't bother me. Don't ask me for anything, right? You start small. You start doing small acts for yourself to tell yourself you matter. And in this act, you're actually training your subconscious. At first, they feel uncomfortable. A lot of women tell me this. I started this challenge and somebody was saying, I can't stand being in this 50-50 situation with my husband. And so, I told her, like, it's going to crumble. Like, it can't last if you're saying you're adored, you're, all these things, but, he's more of a roommate in that sense. And slowly, throughout the course of a few months, she changed her identity so much that her husband actually stepped up and saw her in a new light because of this. But it was small steps at the time, right? It wasn't like she just came home and be like, well, I'm no longer willing to be roommates with you and everything around here is going to change. And no, that's going to create a massive don't do that, right? It's in the small things. You have to start small, but you also have to sit with yourself in meditation with cleansing this energy of guilt. The energy of guilt and shame are incredibly detrimental to us, to anything, to even just going day to day, let alone manifesting big things or manifesting what you want. You can't manifest from guilt and shame, right? I was talking to somebody on a call the other day, and she's saying, I, finally realized that the reason I never even met somebody later in my life after my divorces, because I've always felt guilty about leaving my first husband, right? So that guilt, just from that feeling of guilt that you left somebody that maybe loved you and maybe you broke their heart, just that guilt alone might tell your subconscious you are not worthy of finding like somebody else who you're more compatible with, because you already had a good person and you treat them badly by leaving them, and because of that you're not worthy, because you're just not worthy, right? So a guilt like this could keep you single forever in her situation, right? Could keep you single for the next 20 years. In the case of this queen, this guilt about doing something for herself, you see how it's unfolded in her life, right? Everyone's taking advantage of her. Everyone's like playing on her guilt, being like, oh, but if you leave me, I'm going to do something bad. But if you leave me, like, it's very important to realize that the gap between where your life should be and where your life is will not be able to change via you doing 5 affirmations 15 times a day, right? It's very important to understand, I will commit to myself for the next, let's say, year in her case. And a year changes so much, guys, like for everybody. Think about maybe where you were this time last year if you've effectuated some changes. Think about where you were even before you started this challenge, right? Like inside, maybe 3D hasn't caught up with, you know, your new Mercedes or your new husband, but inside you're different every day, right? You're different every day, and you should be. You should be different every day, and you should be a better version of yourself every day. This is why I say we get better with age. We should, right? Maybe our bodies don't keep up with us, but we as people cannot become bitter, depressed, heavy. We're really supposed to go the other way as you go older, right? Because you're accumulating more wisdom and you're able to operate more from your light body, from your energetic scaffolding, and sort of process the energy that comes your way and give grace to others and only accept what's not for you. You're saying no, learning how to say no, and all of these things and practical tools. For my Facebook group, whoever's on my Facebook group, we had a great live, and I think I'm going to keep these lives on the Facebook group to practical tips for, especially for women, in how to handle their lives, because women are trained very differently than men, you know. When we're brought up, we're trained to give a lot, and then unfortunately what happened from my generation and going forward, it's women are also told, you also, in addition to that, in addition to sacrificing and giving a lot, you also have to provide for yourself and have all these masculine traits. You have to be able to handle everything in the world and raise your kids maybe as a single mom and do everything while you're sacrificing and doing all these things. It's just a lot, right? It's a lot. And this is why actually men manifest easier than women, believe it or not, right? When they have a goal, you know, it's like you see the stories on the net. Yeah, I put in my mind that, you know, I'd have $1 million by December 31st, and I had it. Yeah, because that person probably never sacrificed for anyone, doesn't have any guilt, doesn't have, you know what I mean? It's just very, very different. Yeah, I'm a mother. Yeah. Focus on what is going right in your life. It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. You're more energy than I just want to see if I missed anything. Yeah, so look, when I give you guys advice, I only would give you advice if I know what I'm talking about. I wouldn't give you like theoretical advice. So, yeah. I want to know if you guys have any questions. We have like a minute or so left, and then I want to do the tapping. That was all the material. I actually was able to cover everything I wanted to talk about. Yeah, it's all positive vibes here. Whoever listens to my content always says that you know, they feel better afterwards, which is my intention. If you can't contribute positive vibes, you shouldn't be on the internet. Unfortunately, the internet is extremely negative in general. And if you can sense that, right? Even though the person isn't present there, I want you guys to really distance yourself from anything that gives you negative vibes. So if it's a certain group that gives you negative vibes, like somebody told me, oh, I'm so glad your group doesn't allow for this emotional dumping, because I've left groups before. I was so triggered by other people's stories and the emotional dumping that's going on. Yeah. So if a lot of people who are depressed get together and just talk about how depressed they are and how things are not working out, that thought form, it's building momentum. Oh, and somebody comments, I know exactly what you're feeling, and I know exactly. Every time you agree with somebody, that energy grows. Thank you guys so much for joining. Everyone should do the 60-day challenge, yeah. And tell them it's probably not going to be 60 days. It's probably more of a lifestyle. See, I don't mind saying that, because people have to be committed to really bettering themselves on an everyday kind of basis. But the 60 days, you should commit for doing it every day as a regular practice. And the later you'll want to continue. I have people who have been with me from the beginning, so they're still doing the work every day. And 600-day challenge, I love it. I love it. Let's put our hands together for the 369. Tapping. I am a winner. This is going to take about 30 seconds. I am a winner. 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 I am a winner.